unique post-processing filters, PP files, PPFs, and you can store them on your hard drive in the proper location. You see, like if I click manage, oh God, there's a bunch of these, but they're stored on my computer, and there's, okay, let's see the folder for this. That is in Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Assetto Corsa, System, Config, PP Filters. Well, that should be a piece of cake. I have a PP filter I want to install called Realistic or Photorealistic. Let's have a look. Hey, we're learning together. I'm not an expert. It's you can find experts on YouTube. So if that's all you want to do is find an exact answer to a specific question, good luck. See you later. God, what am I looking for? I'm looking for my game folder, game stuff, Assetto Corsa, PP filters, exquisite. Now let's see. Is it really that easy? Okay, inside system, config, PP filters. There's those scripts. All right, so maybe I don't want to do this on camera. I'm going to have to take a little more time to read about it. Mods, natural mods, system, CFG, PP filters, bam. So these guys are starting at a little higher level on the, here's Steam, Steam Apps, system, config, PP filters. Okay, there's sole custom configs. Would I not put, no. Okay. So these are people who messed around with the sole settings, I think, and created a natural mod. But he's got scripts and things that I need to figure out where they go before I start jacking up my install. The reality filter, yeah, see, I thought this one was a little simpler. Extension. Is there something here called extension? Yes, there is. All right. So in the extension folder, in the config.ext, oh, config extended, pure. Ooh, okay. So reality filter, I did read some people talking about pure. Do I have something here called pure? No, I got exquisite, natural, and reality filter. So we're getting really deep into talking about installing additional graphics, filters in the game, but realistically, we've already got a bunch installed because we installed Sol. Now, here, we're just going to go ahead and run a benchmark. And you're going to see my previous videos with stock settings, stock graphic adjustments. It looked pretty decent, but they didn't have the kind of contrast, brightness, saturation, and you'll see. We'll run this, and then we're going to run a different one. I want to show you at least two different benchmarks, so you can see the difference of the stock game, which they don't allow me. Maybe I can run a stock benchmark. So we'll find out. What's that called? Fool around and find out. FOFA? F-A-F-F-O. FAFO. FAFO. All right, now, see how much brighter and greener this is? So the background is a lot more, I don't want to say cartoon looking, but early video games. This is more like a TOCA 2, or some really old Race 07 style brightness levels and saturation levels. And it's currently what I'm using by default. I haven't run it yet. I just jacked around with all this stuff yesterday. Like I said, I'm getting back into Assetto Corsa after 2016. 6-year hiatus. And you notice when the aren't the lighting effects quite interesting on the windshield? When you're heading into the wind, you're going to get a little bit of a reflection from the dirt on your windshield, but at a different angle. It's that problem. Oh, glare. I guess I'm looking at glare. All right, so he's got. Notice the green, the green curbing, fencing. the blue and red railings, but the inside corner markers and the greenness there is like super bright. See on the left that green, and on the right now that green. There was a barrier that was just not quite neon green, but crazy ass green, man. Now the lighting in the cabin looks good, or dashboard, or cockpit. Oh, you can find out there that kind of bright green on the right. Whoa, that's just neon, dude. All right, so I'm just gonna say that's enough of that, right? And we have a benchmark at 189, so it's not really killing my FPS. I have a wicked fast machine. Let's go with default. And let's get a baseline comparison before we look at any others. So that stock Soul settings were heavily saturated, had a lot of more brightness than the standard settings. But the beauty of Soul is it gives you a ton of weather effects and the ability to create a calendar. Oh man, that looks super bright and overblown too, doesn't it? I wonder if it's actually using a proper internal default any file. Yeah, that's still just super bright, heavily saturated. Saturated means the vibrancy of the... I think the grass is a little duller. But it's a very bright day. And maybe it's just different racing conditions than what I was running at Laguna Seca. And maybe it's just the glare on our windshield at this moment, because pretty soon we catch up with that black car and we turn away from the sun. We don't have this film on our windshield. Things get a lot clearer just now. Okay, we'll keep looking for that neon green effect in the side fencing. I see a porta potty coming up on the left next to the outhouse. That was kind of green. There's another one. There it is, neon green on the left. Alright, well that looks still just as frickin' insane. Alright, so let's get rid of this. And, okay. For the sake of comparison, let's see what a blue steel change looks like. Do I have to save the preset? No. Okay, I thought maybe it didn't take effect because, well, we just saw the difference between Soul and default was they were both really bright and really green. It might be time of day of this benchmark versus the time of day I was racing at Laguna in this is a 7-part series. Okay, blue steel, I think is what he called this, whatever it was. You can clearly see he's got like a heavy blue cast to the sky. It is also still super bright. We've got the obnoxious glare on the windshield. I'm gonna run it until we make, we get through that chicane behind that black car and we pass that green fence. But this definitely has a blue tint, right? I'm seeing that. Now, these kind of subtleties may be irrelevant to you, but when you go and look at those couple of mods that I want to have installed, realistic, natural, and whatever the other one was called, pure maybe. Exquisite, natural, and something else. Okay, now here's where the windshield cleans up. The car gets really nice and black. I mean, I'm looking at brightness levels. Let's look for the outhouse coming up. There it is. That's much more blue instead of green. I still think that fence coming up on the inside is going to be neon green, and it is. Alright. I thought that would have, tamed quite a bit. Okay, close. Overall quality maximum, glare effect, maximum. I've got everything on maximum. Motion blur is off. Saturation, well, hell. I can set the saturation. What if I set the saturation to... it was at 120%. Well, let's go at half of that. And try to get it to 60. There we go. And now let's go look at SOL. Yeah, I tried photographic yesterday, and I tried natural, and I really wasn't seeing radical differences. But maybe that's just because the frickin' saturation was jacked. Okay, so Let's give it a shot. Anyway, the whole point is that you can fully customize and modify this game. You can install custom tracks, you can install custom cars, you can install a custom car and then apply a custom skin to the car. I have Photoshop, I'm a nerd, I know how to do it. Oh my god, look at that, we've turned on the saturation and it looks pretty frackin' good. It got rid of, well, it's still very bright, it's broad daylight, but the saturation has been tamed substantially. Now, that looks almost like the what I was running yesterday at Laguna Seca. I wish that guy's steering wheel would chill out. Now, I want to catch up to the black car and get a look at that green fence and see just how green it is. Man, saturation, what if we only, kept it at... I mean, I think I would like a little more saturation. I would like a little greener trees and a little blacker asphalt. A little more yellow on the curbing. Okay, yeah, that black car is just not that black. With the saturation turned down to 60. Now coming up on the outhouse. Yeah, it looks a lot more realistic color of the porta potties I've seen. There's another porta potty, and here we come to the green fence. It's not neon green, right? We definitely have toned that down. So, that's interesting. Now, it depends. How much do you want to dick around with this? Heat, shimmer, sun rays, FXAA. Oh. Performance hit is 0.48. It gives you an explanation of what that is. Let's compromise, right? We were at 120% saturation. Now we're at 60. So there's a 60-point spread there. Let's cut that in half and go with 30 points. And we're going to run at 90% saturation. There it is. All right. And now I'm just going to switch one on and one off. Custom config. Oh, okay, cool. Then I'm going to go back to Sol. Everything's maximum, maximum, maximum. Pixels. Oculus. That doesn't apply to us. Allow unsupported DirectX 10. Oh, use at your own risk. Apparently I'm running DirectX 9. Alright, we should probably only jack with one variable at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. Then we've got load bias. I don't know what the LOD means. Max frame latency is on auto. Okay, let's see if DirectX 10 clicked does anything. Hopefully we won't crash. And we've split the saturation between, whoa, too bright, too oversaturated, and basically the stock game. Maybe here we're going to get just a little tuned up brightness. And yeah, definitely got a lot more saturation. But 90 is better than 120, man. That was just too much. And it'll be a minute before we get to the black car going through the chicane, and then the outhouse, and then the green fence. So I'm just looking for some landmarks in the environment. This is pretty close. I would expect the barriers, the red, to be more red than it is now. But maybe it's just sun faded, and it's kind of like a yellow and an orange instead of a true red. Like there's now this car. It's fairly black. It's blacker than it was before. I think I kind of want to split between 90 and 120. So that's 30 points again, right? So maybe our saturation should be at, well, let's just stick to 100. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm liking the depth of the shadows and the black. I'm thinking, now, so we did cheat the system and we allowed DirectX 10, but I don't think that's what's doing it. Let's go to 100% saturation instead of 120. And benchmark that. Yeah, I didn't click on one off another. I'm just trusting that I've noticed the visuals change from 1, 2, 3 settings that we've run through. So the benchmark you're supposed to let run all the way to the end, and then it gives you a report about your total FPS. And if you really have a lot of adjustments in your custom shader profile, it could have an effect on your FPS. Sorry, I got the hiccups. It could have an effect on your FPS. But we have a fast enough video card, and the game's running 175 frames per second that it's not affecting us. Okay, I'm liking the barrier. It's a little redder, a little more yellow. Not radically unrealistic. The grass is in neon green. The grass is kind of underwatered yellow. Alright, let's look at the blackness of this car in front of us. It's clearly a black car, but boy, the glare on the windshield is a killer. Coming up on the outhouse and the porta potty. Yeah, that actually looks like the color of a porta potty in reality. Can you believe I'm judging my gaming based upon the color of a porta potty? Now, there was a neon green fence. Yeah, that thing's freaking screaming green, but alright, I'm okay with that. Okay, now, what I want to do is show you this other guy. Soul Extra Reinhard. Reinhard is the guy on Race Department. And he's one of the administrators or moderators on the system, or maybe he's the founder. I can't remember. I've seen his name around a lot. So he's extremely experienced and picky. He likes things to be the way he likes them to be. So I tried his preset, and I noticed that it was substantially more subdued than straight SOL, Soul, by itself. You know, this isn't quite as bright. There's greater contrast between the evergreens and the coniferous trees, or the, what are they called? Maybe the evergreens are, oh God, what are they called? You know, leafy trees versus pine needle trees. Who cares? Somebody out there is saying it into their monitor. Dumbass, it's this, it's this, it's this. And maybe carnivorous is not even the right word. It almost sounds carnivorous. Alright, black car turning black? No, he's kind of gray. So there's a little different kind of reflection quality on that vehicle in front of us. Let's see how the outhouse turns out. Actually, that looks realistic enough. And I'm liking the grass in the shoulder around the curbing. Seems to have a little bit more depth. Whoa, neon green. Alright, so that maybe that neon green is really that big of a thing to judge things by. However, this is a little too muted for me. I do like the differentiation between the evergreens and the leafy trees. And guess what? This being a weather mod, you can run this track in the springtime and I think the leaves go away. If you run it in the fall, I think it's autumn time. But the evergreens are evergreen, right? So all the pine trees are still green. God, it's not perennials. The word just flashed into my head and went away. Anyway, alright, so we've gone a little further with this one than the other ones. Let's see, are there any other simple things that we could change here? Oh, 8x in MSAA. I've already got anisotropic filtering at 16x. World details, smoke gen, 2 faces per frame. We were told that gotta keep that. Fix resolution automatically. VSync, I don't want that on. I don't want to limit my frame rate. Don't care about that. Let's go to the HDR. I'm going to have to retitle this stream and this video when I put it on YouTube. I guess I'll call it Content Manager Soul Benchmarking. Something like that. Whoa! Whoa, that looks so different. That looks like such a 1990s video game or year 2000 video game. Alright, I'm gonna hold off. Now he's got some really good variation between the evergreens and leafy trees. windshield. I wish that... Well, I guess this is probably a pretty heavy-duty red and green barriers. Okay. The grass is a little yellow on the shoulders. Doesn't have that much shadowing or depth. Yeah, I'm not hip on this one. That black car is not going to be very black when we round the corner, I don't think. Oh, that got fairly dark. It kind of has a green tint to it. It almost looks like a green car now. Yeah, porta potty, close enough. And I guess the black car does look black, but let's see, how did that occur? Oh, just by using HDR. Okay, what if we did Soul Extra and then Reinhard modified it, and he's being released in here. How about a neutral? Boy, neutral linear, and then we'll do the other one. Sensitivity-o-matic. I mean, nobody's going to watch this, dude. I'm just talking to myself. I just want to get that screenshot up there for anybody who doesn't have this game to buy it at $2.79. Oh, now this is quite good. Well, I mean, it looks a little retro, but I like the depth and the darkness. A lot of shadows. I'm expecting, oh yeah, the grass on the, I just saw it over there on the shoulder. The grass on the shoulder looks a lot more natural color, isn't that weird yellow lemon lime color. Oh, there's some shadows in it. You can see a little differentiation between patches of grass. The wall, rather subdued. I do like the shoulder. The grass on the shoulder looks far more realistic. The variation of trees here is spectacular. The evergreens and even the leafy trees, there's a unique coloration between each of them. So maybe that's just a lighting effect that gives those leafy trees a little more round sensation. There's an outhouse coming up on the neon green fence. The black car looks black. Green fence looks pretty green. So there's a weird muted vibe here. Kind of like it's an overcast day, even though we can clearly see the sky is blue. Alright, so that's really bizarre and interesting, right? Okay, so now let's go, instead of color neutral, linear sensitometric. Okay. I'm expecting my computer to just catch on fire from just running this over and over and over. But honestly, it's not really cranking out that many frames. Usually when you benchmark something, you've got one of the newest, hottest games there is, and it literally becomes the hottest game because you're running benchmarks to fine-tune and get the most FPS out of your rig. But, okay, look at the dark and light differentiation between the evergreens and leafy trees. The evergreens are a little muted. They're not that really dark evergreen color. The grass is kind of, it's leaning towards lemon lime. It's a little yellow, more yellow than the green and yellow barrier is a little weird, or a little muted. Coming up on checking out the black color in front of us. He kind of looks like he has a green tint. Yeah, he got black again in the indirect sunlight. Yeah, and that outhouse looks really good. The shadowing or the shading here looks really good, actually. Oh man, the fencing looks lime green. The grass is lemon yellow. Or lemon lime. Well, you know what would be fun is to actually, oh yeah, look at the saturation on the barrier fence here. The yellow and red is pretty vibrant yellow and red. However, the curbing is not. Good differentiation in the evergreen. You know, like an evergreen isn't always all the exact same color of needles. There's usually a bunch of brown dyeing needles mixed in with the live ones. The trees give a good sense of depth with different coloration. Now, when you're racing, you don't pay attention to this, right? You're hell-bent on this guy's bumper in front of me. But yeah, I'm liking this particular setting. I'm going to leave it right there, dude. Wait, what if I turn that saturation down just a smidgen? From 100 to 95. That seems really nitpicky, but this is what it's about, is tuning things to become your own personal ultimate experience, right? Okay. I need to breathe a little bit. Okay, saturation change. Now, how do we adjust for brightness here? The brightness seems a little too much, but you know what? I really am liking the saturation in the barrier fence, the yellow and red. I'm liking the color differentiation between the trees. The grass is okay. I mean, I do see patches. Yeah, I see dark trees, light trees. I'm digging this one. So I've just turned the saturation down to 95. Oh, I'm really liking it. It seems very... I don't know. I am definitely seeing a distinction. Now, from my computer to the capture software, the outhouses and the porta potty looks a little shadowy. That lime green is still lime. There ain't gonna be no change in that apparently. But I'm okay with the barrier wall. I love the differentiation of the trees, man. It's not quite as bright. That's what I wanted to look for, was to see if we could get a little bit of a brighter, a little bit more brightness here. Does that happen in this screen? Glare, maximum, motion blur, saturation, heat shimmer, resolution in FPS, custom. It should just be 1920 by 1080 at 60. Okay. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that helped us or hurt us. Shadow resolution is absurd. I'm going to knock that down. Rendering distance. Oh, wow. Dude, I have enough FPS. I can turn that up. All right, I'm going to go with this neutral sensitometric. Oh, manage. Look at that. Oh. Now I'm picking up what they're throwing down. Here's a custom shader patch that you can create and edit filters in the game and see your changes live. All right, so color. Here's brightness and saturation. Man, it should be as simple as knocking this brightness down to 0.9. Or let's FAFO. Let's FAFO. Fool around and find out. Okay? What if I made this 0.5? I want to see if we are going to see a dramatic change, just bam like that. Excuse me. So, you know what I'm also going to do is go ahead and do that to the contrast, and that should be incredibly obvious. Okay, now test. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, it takes us here. Nah, that's not what I wanted. Let's see, how do I do? Okay, if I do save, shucks. I did not see save as. I do not see save as. All right. Before I screw anything up, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put that back at 1. I'm going to put contrast back at 1. And then I'm going to save. Then I'm going to clone this. Clone it, and I'm going to call it Sol-1 0.5 bright. contrast. And that's my own invention. And it's there. It's there for me to use. Okay, so now instead of being on Soul, I cloned it and it gave me a new one. I have to click on the new one, and now I'm going to dick around. Or now I'm going to faffo. Okay, save. Now I go back, and here, oh man, I'm going to have to write this down. I liked the neutral SE Sensi. I'm going to just call it Sensi. My Sensei. And here's mine with 0.5 brightness and contrast. Let's see how this benchmark looks. Yeah, I'm expecting it to be like incredible, visually obvious. We cut the brightness by half and we cut the contrast by half. Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's perfect. Man, I'm seeing a lot more shininess on the car though. Okay, so let's go and manage these. We're on this one. I'm going to I'm going to delete it, and therefore I deleted it. Let me grab that one that I liked, I'm going to clone it, and just call it Troy. Oh, so there it is. Yeah, I guess I can expand that sidebar. There we go. And now I will go down to brightness, and I felt like this needed just a smidgen more. So what if I do in 03? How about an 05? And then, oh, saturation. Wait, contrast. Let's go with contrast. Do I want the contrast to be more intense? Yes, let's go with 05. Now, level of saturation. Can we make it a smidgen less intense by going to 9.5? And then, oh crap. Oh man. Okay. I was on the wrong one. So I'm going to grab all that, copy, go to this one. Oh, you can't paste. Oh, bummer. All right, well, can I rename? No. Well, let's see if the test is, let's see what the test gives us. Man, it didn't wreck anything. All right, well, it was 1, 1, and 1 in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 1, 1, oops, 1.00. And now let's go and make sure that we're on the right one. And then 1.05. Brightness, saturation is 0.05. Very minor change. But then the, not white balance. Oh, contrast. Okay, wait. Saturation I wanted to lessen that a little bit, right? I went to 0.95. In contrast, I want to crank up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to try to save that one. Do the test. Look at the little shiny model. It looks fine. Wow. Shiny. Very cool. Okay, so now that we did that, let's go back to here. And under filter, let's choose, mine, the one that I created, and then benchmark it. Yeah! So we turned, brightness, actually I think we turned brightness up a little bit, 0.05 from 0.00. 1.05 from 1.00. So it's a little brighter, a little more contrast. Oh shit. Yeah, I don't like it. Actually, I kind of do like it. The car's just really dark and shadowy. What is weird about this? It's still got good color differentiation between all the trees. The crash wall looks good. The grass on the shoulder looks good. The cars seem to have just gotten a lot darker. Oh, that's probably as a result of increasing contrast. Okay, now here we come up on the black car. Oh, it's very black. Oh, hiccup, sorry. Man, what the hell? I do like the crash wall. Porta potty looks, fine. Fucking hiccups. Lime green's wall is still lime green. And I think it just needs the brightness turned back out, and maybe the brightness needs to go. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, reduce the brightness. Would that increase the contrast? Like I increased the contrast. Let's see. What are we trying to do here? Let's look at this. Okay, we are on the right file up here. We're in this section on color. The brightness I increased. So what if I decrease that to 0.95 and left the contrast tweaked? Saturation, let's make it just 0.99. So we only went down a really tiny smidgen, and I assume that's down from a full 1 to a 0.99. Let's make it 0.997. Oh, look at that white balance. Good Lord, you could absolutely lose your mind in here. Now this is what I assume. Okay, I'm going to do save. And I'm going to go back. Going to select something else and then select this to make sure that it grabs the recently updated one. I probably don't need to do that, but here we go. So I assume that this is what those guys who did the exquisite, perfect, pure, all the other varieties of shader PPFs, I mean, that people have put together. Yeah, it's fairly dark in here now. But the contrast, man, I do like the additional contrast. Definitely want to make the brightness a little more. Yeah, need a little more brightness. But I like the additional contrast, even though it's not a whole hell lot. Maybe I should reduce it by 1 point. You know, are things as sensitive as a single point adjustment? I assume they are. Oh, I am liking the shoulder. The grass on the shoulder looks good. Huh. The car looks black in front of me. And as we go into the glare of the sun, definitely saw, shifting shadows. Yeah, the outhouse is in kind of like the shade over there. Neon green walls, a little more subdued, but not quite. A lot of depth in the surrounding shrubbery and trees. All right, man, I'm liking this. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to manage, and let's see, brightness. Boy, oh boy. I thought I made that 97. Okay, I'm gonna make brightness 90. You know what? How about 02 and 1? And the only thing we're going to change is brightness. And I will do a save. right, so let me just double check. We changed the brightness. We increased that a little bit. Increase the contrast a little bit. You know what? Maybe we should tone down some of that contrast and make it 03. And I'm honestly liking the saturation level. So I'm going to do a save. Go back. We're going to switch on and off. Oh, this is so insane, isn't it? Gamers, dude, gamers. You know, it keeps you busy. I got a friend that he doesn't have any hobby or nothing to keep him busy. And it's not working out. Ooh. Okay, so it's very dark. I want to get that kind of like, you know, have you ever seen a rendered screenshot of a vehicle? I'm sure you have. I really want that much more true object kind of thing. Okay, the crash wall looks a little less saturated since I changed. We did reduce the saturation a little bit. Increase the brightness. Increase the contrast. But we didn't increase the contrast remarkably. Okay, the truck or the black looks really nicely black. A lot of light changes happening. And hey, Logjam, buddy of mine is checked in on Steam. Oh, it looks really good here. Oh, the lighthouse looks fine, and the lime green is lime green. All right, we're gonna go with that. In the future, I hope to have the pure PPF here or some other variation.